You're tired, not just physically tired. The kind of tired where even small things feel heavy. A simple text feels like effort. One more problem feels like too much. Even when you finally lie down at night, your mind still keeps going. You replay conversations. Think about money. Think about the future. Think about things that haven't even happened yet. And honestly, it's exhausting. What makes it harder is that most people probably don't even notice. You still show up, still handle responsibilities, still say I'm fine automatically. You've gotten really good at functioning while quietly overwhelmed. So you keep pushing yourself, trying to stay ahead, trying to prevent problems before they happen, trying to make sure nothing falls apart. Because somewhere deep down, there's this fear. If I stop holding everything together, what happens then? And maybe you don't even realize how tense you are anymore. Your shoulders stay tight all day. You check your phone the second you wake up. You struggle to fully relax, even during quiet moments. It's like your body forgot how to feel safe. But maybe the reason you feel so exhausted isn't because you're weak. Maybe it's because you were never meant to carry this much by yourself. And real peace often begins the moment you stop trying to control everything. We live in a culture obsessed with control. Be productive. Stay disciplined. Plan your future. Fix yourself. Never fall behind. And look, responsibility matters. But a lot of us crossed a line without realizing it. We stopped being responsible and started believing everything depends entirely on us. For some people, that mindset came from pain, disappointment, betrayal, seasons where trusting people didn't feel safe anymore. So you adapt. You become hyper-aware, hyper-responsible. You try to plan every possible outcome because uncertainty makes you anxious. And after a while, control stops feeling like a habit. It starts feeling like survival. The strange thing is, people who struggle with control usually don't look controlling from the outside. Most of the time, they just look dependable. They're the person everyone calls. The one who handles things. The one who stays calm during emergencies. But internally, their mind never really rests. Even during quiet moments, there's this constant pressure running in the background. What am I forgetting? What if something goes wrong? What if I mess this up? Spiritually, I think this creates two different ways of living. The first person says they trust God, but still lives as if everything depends on their own strength. So when life becomes uncertain, panic immediately takes over. Not because their faith is fake. They're just exhausted from carrying more than they were meant to carry. Then there's another kind of person. Not lazy, not passive, not careless. They still work hard, still care deeply, still plan wisely. But underneath all of that, there's trust. And you can feel the difference. Because deep down, they've accepted something most people struggle to accept. They are not God. And honestly, letting go sounds beautiful until life actually becomes unstable. That's when you realize how tightly you've been gripping everything. Because control feels safe, even when it's slowly draining you. Imagine driving on black ice. Your car suddenly starts sliding. Immediately, your body panics. Your hands grip tighter. Your heart races. Every instinct screams, do something. But experienced drivers know something important. Panicking usually makes the slide worse. Sometimes the safest thing you can do is stop reacting so aggressively. Take a breath. Stay steady. Respond calmly instead of fearfully. Life feels like that sometimes. Unexpected bills. Relationship problems. Bad news. Uncertainty about the future. And our instinct is always the same. Fix it immediately. Control the outcome immediately. Because uncertainty feels unbearable. But peace often begins with a sentence most people avoid, saying, I can't control all of this. And weirdly, that can feel terrifying at first. Because part of you thinks letting go means giving up, but they're not the same thing. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop trying to carry things that were never fully yours to carry. I think a lot of us are spiritually exhausted because we keep trying to hold responsibilities that were never meant to rest completely on our shoulders. Trying to control every outcome, every timeline, every person's reaction. No wonder your mind feels tired all the time. You've been gripping life so tightly for so long, you forgot what it feels like to loosen your hands. So, how do you actually begin letting go? Not just emotionally, but practically? Here are 3 small shifts that genuinely help. Shift 1. Interrupt the spiral. The first shift is simple. Interrupt the spiral before it fully takes over. Because anxiety builds fast. One thought becomes 10. Then suddenly you're lying awake at 1 in the morning imagining worst-case scenarios. So the next time anxiety starts rising, pause for a moment and pray. God, help me trust you with what I cannot control. That's it. Not a perfect prayer. Just honesty. And maybe this sounds small, but sometimes even 10 seconds of pause can completely change the emotional direction of your day. Because you stop feeding the panic. Shift 2. Open your hands. Second, pay attention to your body. Because stress lives there too. Sometimes you think you're fine, then suddenly realize your jaw has been clenched for an hour. Or your shoulders feel tight. Or your breathing feels shallow. Your body often tells the truth before your mind does. So when you feel overwhelmed, try something simple. Sit down. Open your hands on your lap. Relax your shoulders. Take one slow breath. It sounds almost too simple, but physically relaxing your posture reminds your nervous system that you are safe right now. Not every problem has to be solved immediately. Shift 3. Stop worshiping productivity. Third, stop treating rest like something you have to earn. A lot of people feel guilty when they slow down. Even during rest, they still feel like they should be doing something productive. So they never fully rest mentally. They watch movies while checking emails, spend time with family while thinking about tomorrow, lie in bed while mentally rehearsing problems, and eventually your soul starts feeling tired in a way sleep alone can't fix. Rest is not laziness. Sometimes rest is wisdom. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is stop striving for one evening and just breathe. Healing usually happens slower and quieter than people expect. Imagine waking up tomorrow without immediately feeling pressure in your chest. Imagine breathing deeply again. Not because life suddenly became perfect, but because you finally stopped trying to control every possible outcome. You do not have to carry everything alone. You do not need every answer right now. And you do not have to force your future into existence through fear and overthinking. Sometimes strength looks less like gripping tighter, and more like trusting enough to loosen your hands. Pause. Little by little, day by day. If this message connected with you, write this in the comments. I'm learning to trust. And if someone came to your mind while listening to this, send them this message. Sometimes people don't need advice. Sometimes they just need permission to stop carrying everything for a minute. You are not alone. Take a breath and let yourself rest.